As we get older, we become more and more conditioned to be more and more the same.
Raising standards come from when you would normally quit, you go one more.
The single most important part in learning to be honest with yourself is to accept that you must have self-esteem.
Rise and shine!
It's Entspresso time!
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I am not a morning person, but if you start your day with a morning routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of Entspresso from John Assaraf.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So in many cases with adults, we have to unlearn
what we learned in the past.
what we learned in the past. And one of my friends wrote a really good book. It says, what got you here won't get you there. So if
I love that.
if you want to achieve another result that you've never achieved before,
Who is he?
Marshall Goldsmith.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. And wonderful, wonderful man. And so if we want to achieve another result that we've never achieved before, then we have to become somebody different. We have to upgrade our skills. We have to upgrade our behaviors. We have to master our emotions better because we're going to meet resistance.
Yes.
And we don't like change. The human brain and body doesn't like change. And I've said for 30 years now, the only human being that likes change is a baby with a wet diaper.
Yeah.
That's the only human being that likes change. Everybody else likes, I like everything just the way it is.
Yeah.
And so, and as we get older, it becomes harder and harder to change because the patterns in the brain are so strong. If you think about an oak tree,
Yes.
and if you looked underneath the ground
Yeah.
to the root system, it's connected to all the other oak trees, maybe for miles around, all interconnected.
So it's hard to change.
It's hard to change it because you can pull the oak tree, but you still have all the roots that are connected. And if you had a little baby tree that's maybe been there for 1 year, it's much easier to go in and pull the tree out and take the root system out. And so as we get older, we become more and more conditioned to be more and more the same. So it's not that change isn't possible. It's most people aren't willing to commit to switching from what's comfortable to what's not long enough for the new to be comfortable.
Every day, inside your head, there is a war being fought between growth you and comfort you. Every day. Every day you wake up, you're already fighting the war. You're already fighting the battle. And your goal, your job, your purpose, your mission is to try to win more fights as growth you compared to comfort you. Just think about this morning. You got out of bed. What does comfort you want to do? Comfort you wants to hit the snooze button. Comfort you wants 5 more minutes in the warm blankets. Comfort you says, nobody really cares if you show up today or not. Just give yourself a break. Take it easy. You did so much yesterday. You know, you could start again on Monday. That's the voice, right? Like you have your own version of it, but that's comfort you telling you to be comfortable. And we love comfort you. We love feeling like we're wrapped in a warm blanket and we have hot chocolate and we just don't have to do anything. Because growth you requires doing scary things. Growth you requires doing something bigger. Growth you requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, which comfort you doesn't like. But you're not happy as comfort you. You know, it's a different kind of happiness. It's a comfortable happiness, but it's not the service happiness. And you realize that you want to serve, that you're capable of more, that you want to do big things, that you can do big things, that you have a message, that your story could change people's lives. You know this. I look at happiness as being split, of happiness being the excitement versus fulfillment, or a momentary little shot versus deep fulfillment. chasing comfort is that little shot. Chasing comfort is having that chocolate bar. It tastes so good. You know, is the little momentary jolt where growth you, that's fulfillment. Growth you is deep, sustained, long-term happiness. And so you have to lean into growth you more often than not. You getting up on time when you said you would and chasing after the day and whatever you said you were gonna do. If you work out, you know, first thing in the morning, if that's part of your goals, to work out, right? How many of you have that goal? Work out first thing in the morning. Okay, great. Again, that decision is a fight between comfort you and growth you. Comfort you says, oh, my muscles are sore. You know, I did such a good workout yesterday. My muscles are sore, so I'm gonna not do it today. Comfort you says, well, you skipped yesterday's workout, so whatever. Don't worry about this week. We start again next week. Comfort you says, well, my gym is closed right now, so I can't go down. Comfort you finds all the reasons why you can't do it. And growth you is fighting to say, no, we're doing this. We said we were gonna do this. We wanna look a certain way. We wanna hit a certain weight. We want our muscles to build. We wanna have longevity. No, let's go, wake up and do it. And what people don't realize is some people think that it's just it's something rare. It's some kind of, you know, Evan Carmichael or whoever it is, they're just different. They're just freaks. It's not a 1 or 0 thing. It's not a I'm living in growth mode all the time, right? I fight it every day. I fight comfort me versus growth me every day. Even filming these videos, I forgot to bring my tripod. So at this time, Nina's shopping at Costco. There's Costco. She's getting some supplies for us for the week. And I'm gonna make videos, right? Use the most of her time. And I usually bring my tripod. And I have not brought my tripod today. This is the last video I need to film. And I'm holding, look, this is what I'm doing. Here, can I show you? Here. I've got my hand here. This is my tripod. And I've got my leg crossed like this. And I'm resting my arm on my leg right now, on my knee, because my arm is about to fall off. I've been filming videos for 2 hours. My arm is about to fall off. I have no more strength in my left arm. I've been switching arms every now and then. I got nothing left. And going into it, like, oh, I don't have my tripod. Okay, now what? I mean, do we just go home and I get it and then I'm delayed on making videos? Do I just postpone it and say, you know what, I'll make videos tomorrow? Do I say, you know, whatever, nobody cares if I make videos or not, I'll just postpone it a week? That's all comfort Evan talking. Growth Evan's like, no, let's go. We do difficult things, right? I do difficult things. Don't have a tripod? Let's go. We're making it anyway. My arm will fall off. You're gonna have a super sore arm by tomorrow, right? I fight it every day too. I'm just like you. I fight it every day too. And your goal is to wake up and just try to win more fights as growth you than comfort you. I don't win all the growth Evan fights. Most of the time, I think we just default to living in comfort zone. I think I've made already a lot of decisions today based off of comfort Evan, not even recognizing that it's comfort Evan. We subconsciously live in our comfort zone. And we find the reasons and the justifications to stay small and to stay comfortable and stay safe and stay where we are. Most of the time, it never bubbles up to the conscious. Most of the time, growth you never even has a fighting chance. You don't recognize that growth you is losing the fight because you've convinced yourself as to why you should do it. It's just subconscious. It's your autopilot patterns. But it's when you catch it. It's when you catch it, what do you do? When you catch it, when your arm is tired because you don't have your tripod, when you don't want to get out of bed because you had a rough night sleeping, when you don't want to work out because your muscles are sore, then what do? And it's in those moments that you start to build and shift your identity. It's in those moments when you're feeling tired and you still get up and do it. It's in those moments when your muscles are hurting and you still do a workout. It's in those moments when you don't have your tripod and you still film the videos. It's in those moments that you start to build self-love. You start to raise your standards a little. People talk about raising standards. How do you do it? That's how you do it. Raising standards come from when you would normally quit, you go one more. When old you would say that's enough, you do one more. And I'm not talking going off the deep end and sacrificing your self-care, right? Don't go so far that you end up on drugs or not sleeping at all, or right? I mean, self-care is real, but you can do one more. You know, you can do one more. It's just moving the line where you give yourself a break, right? I like to say moving the brake line forward. You would normally give yourself a break here, go here, right? You normally be here. It's like, okay, that's enough. I'm gonna break. Just go here, just a little bit more, just one more. Doing that consistently, that's how you raise your standards. That's how you create the new identity. That's how you start to let growth you beat out comfort you. You'll never get rid of comfort you. I don't know if you can even not let comfort you win most of the time. Like maybe what I've been saying of growth you has to beat comfort you half the time as the goal, maybe that's even too high a bar. I think comfort you likely wins 99% of the time. And your job is to move that 1% even to 10%. To be 10% more effective, right? To go from 1% to 10%. But it's a daily battle. And no matter how great you feel today, no matter how much inspiration you've had, how many life-changing conversations you had, how much you feel like you've got momentum now, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be fighting the same battle again. The battle never goes away. It shouldn't, because growth never stops. You wanna climb forever. It's not like you hit the top of the mountain and then you're done, right? When you've hit a goal, what happened? You felt let down afterwards. Like you hit your goal, rah, 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 yay, and then what? You need to be growing towards something else. We want to grow. If we're not growing, we're not happy. So you want to grow for life. And you're always going to have comfort you, which is sometimes the voice of reason, but is mostly the voice of being scared. And your job is to every day wake up and go to battle, go to war against comfort you, because your mission depends on it, your self-love depends on it, your self-confidence depends on it, your family depends on it, the people around you, your community depends on it, people who currently are what you used to be, they depend on it. The world needs you. It's not even about you anymore. Like the world needs you to step up, to be bolder, to be braver, to be the growth you instead of the comfort you. The world needs it because you've got something that can change other people's lives. Maybe on the mass scale, maybe millions and millions, or maybe 10 people. But what you've been through, how you've overcome, needs to serve as a message of hope and inspiration. Because what's inside you just might change somebody's life. It will change somebody's life, but not if you let comfort you win. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. When you just watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. But when you get motivated and create a plan of action, you bump it from 35% to 91% chance of following through. And when you share it with other people, like in this community in the comments below, it jumps to 95%. I want you to follow through. So question of the day, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video? And what is your plan of action for the next week? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Hey, this is John Assaraf, and do you love good books? I love to read because there's so much wisdom in books. You get to take somebody else's knowledge, skills, research, pay $15, $20, and you learn so much. Now, I'm reading this awesome book called Built to Serve. Find your purpose and become the leader you were born to be. And one of my new friends, really smart guy, really great guy who serves a lot of people, Evan Carmichael, wrote it. And I'm going to read a little bit from chapter number 1. And I love this piece. And maybe it's because I just watched the series on TV on Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, which is really great, by the way, also. One of the things he says here is everybody has Michael Jordan talent at something. Everybody has a Michael Jordan talent at something. You just haven't found it yet. Or you have and you don't believe in yourself enough to go all in. To go all in, right? And you're a genius. I believe you're a genius. And so does he. You're amazing. You are not meant to live a photocopy of someone else's life. You were not created to wake up and do work that is below your capabilities. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and you need to uncover exactly what your purpose is and how you can serve and use the serve. So lots of pearls and gems and motivational pieces. Pick up Built to Serve. Evan Carmichael, rising star.
The single most important part in learning to be honest with yourself is to accept that you must have self-esteem. And the problem is most people build their self-esteem around something stupid. So most people build their self-esteem around being right, being good, being smart, being worthy, and they see all of those as permanent traits. And so anything that challenges them being smart, which is my big one. Oh God, even to this day, if I really want to get into a bad place, I'll just go hang around people that are just legitimately smarter than me and then focus on how cool being smart is. Now I can be around them when I value myself for being the learner, but the second I let myself slip into just wanting to be cool for being smart, then being around those people is like getting kicked in the face. It sucks, man. And so I went through this phase in my life that I call the king of remedial jobs phase. And so this is post film school, post like realizing that I don't have talent. I just need to be smart, man. I just need to build myself back up by being smart. And so I would apply for jobs. Like I sold video games retail, and I sold insurance door to door. I did anything that I could where I knew that the person interviewing me at some point during the interview was going to say, "Why are you applying for this job? Like, you're too smart for this." And be like, "I'm right where I need to be," which is crazy and sad, but absolutely true. And so I did that for a couple years. And in that phase, I just didn't want my intelligence to be challenged. So flash forward now, I'm working with these two entrepreneurs. They hire me as a copywriter. I'm in an entrepreneurial environment for the first time. And they're clearly smarter than me. That isn't even up for debate. And I'm arguing with them for this idea because I needed to win. I couldn't take another time where it's like, they're smarter than me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna win on this idea. And somewhere in the argument, I realized I was wrong. And there was a voice in my head screaming, "You're wrong, dude. You are wrong. You know you're wrong. Shut up. Like, stop pushing for this. What are you doing?" And I kept going, and I finally like whittled them down, and they finally just gave up. And so they said, "Yep, we'll do it your way. Fine, whatever." And right then and there, it's the one time in my life that was truly a lightning rod moment where my life can be divided before and after. And that moment was realizing that I was telling everybody that I wanted to get rich, but the way I was acting was like I just wanted to feel smart. And I thought, hey, no judgment. I'm totally cool. Whichever it is, like we can craft a life where that will be wonderful. So if what you really want is to just be smart and to feel smart all the time, you have to quit. You've got to get out of this environment because they make you feel stupid all the time. And that's not a great place to be. Feeling badly about yourself all the time for any reason, even if it's self-inflicted, it's not a bad scenario or it's not a good scenario. You've got to get out of it. So I was like, okay, so that's option one, get out of this scenario, go back to being the king of remedial jobs. Or if you actually want to get rich, start acting in accordance with it. Start making decisions based on that. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to give up my self-esteem. I'm going to have to like stop worrying about feeling good about myself. And I was like, ooh, that is clearly a losing proposition. There's no way to come in and feel horrible every day and think that I will have the energy to see this through. So I was like, God, what else could I do? And I was like, well, I guess I could build my self-esteem around something that is sort of impervious to being around people that are smarter than me. And what would that be? Being the learner. And I thought, okay, well, I could choose to do that. I could choose to build my self-esteem around being not right, but finding the right answer. Not being smart, but working hard to learn. And so that became just like the core of my existence. I decided in that moment, I'm going to start valuing myself for how rapidly I can admit when I'm wrong. How much I learn, how much time and energy I put into learning. And once I switched that and I switched my identity and my behaviors around to being the learner, then all of a sudden, everything changed. And that's when I went on hockey stick growth, because all of a sudden, if we were arguing and I realized you were right, I'd be like, dude, he's right. You're totally right. I see it. Oh my God, thank you so much. And so I started earning a reputation of I never just backed into a corner. I never argued for something just because it was my idea. I was legitimately on the hunt to find the right answer. And so now I'm getting the internal feedback of, hey, you said that you were going to always focus on being the learner. You're doing it. You said you'd always admit when you're wrong. And I would try to shorten that timeline down. So I wasn't like taking an hour to finally admit it, or even 3 minutes, that I was trying to get to it. Like, dude, if I realize I was wrong, 3 seconds, 30 seconds max, like I'm, just finally saying it. Look, you're totally right. I'm with you. Yep, I see it. And then the world was like, whoa, working with this guy is awesome. He's not trying to take credit for other people's ideas. He will change on what he was saying in a heartbeat when he fights for what he believes in, but the second you can convince him, he's convinced, and then he moves on. And it just became a really awesome environment.
Wow.
So that was hugely transformative, but it forces you to constantly be on the lookout for where am I wrong.
If you want another awesome John Assaraf video, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
We developed a process called the 5R process. And the first R stands for
You retrain your brain one small decision at a time.
And you've got to have meaningful goals.